Have you ever noticed how some women do not flirt in an obvious or direct way? Instead, they quietly test your awareness, especially when you are a man over 50. Women behave differently around you. They do not want to look needy. They do not want to appear too easy. So instead of flirting openly, they ask certain questions. And here's what most men never fully understand: a woman who feels attracted to an older man will almost always ask two very specific questions. It is like a message hidden in plain sight. Before I reveal them, do me a small favor. Tap the like button and comment. If you have ever missed a woman's signal and only realized it much later, your engagement helps this message reach more men who truly need it. Men over 50 often believe they are invisible to younger women or even women their own age. But the truth is very different. Mature men are often more attractive than ever once they understand female behavior. The real issue is not women. It is misunderstanding. It is moving through life assuming she is just being polite when she was actually inviting you closer. Women rarely show interest in an obvious way. They test your emotional calm, your presence, and your ability to notice small details. Feminine psychology works in quiet, subtle ways. And when a woman begins to see you as someone she can trust emotionally, physically, and intimately, her energy changes from casual conversation to intentional curiosity. She begins asking questions designed to reveal three things: your strength as a man, whether you are grounded or insecure, your emotional and practical availability, and your awareness, meaning whether you can recognize genuine interest. This is exactly when the two key questions appear. But to truly understand why they matter so much, you need to see the deeper psychological truth behind them. Many men over 50 expect clear and simple signs because they grew up in a time when people spoke more directly. But women today, even mature women, express attraction differently. They do not say, I am attracted to you, I want to get closer to you, I am thinking about you romantically. Instead, they explore. They feel first, then test. Women often ask carefully chosen questions to see if you are a man they can move toward without feeling rejected. Here is the quiet feminine fear, especially with older men. If she shows interest too clearly, she worries. You might think she is needy or chasing, so she hides her attraction inside curiosity. She wraps it in questions that look harmless to a man who is not paying attention, and if you miss them, she usually will not repeat the invitation. Women rarely offer the same emotional opening twice. Feminine psychology is layered. Women use questions the way men use actions. When a man is interested, he offers help, guidance, support, or protection. When a woman is interested, she asks a question that hints at closeness. There are countless questions a woman might ask in daily conversation, but only two appear again and again when she is gently exploring intimacy with a mature man. I will share them shortly. But first, understand this. She is not asking because she wants information. She is asking because she wants to feel your emotional temperature. She wants to sense, is he calm? Is he steady? Is he open to my energy? Does he stand confidently in his masculine or hide behind politeness? These questions are not about facts. They are about connection. They create a small emotional pull between you and her. Think of them as emotional bridges she places carefully to see if you step onto them with awareness. And when you do, everything shifts in her mind and even in her body. Most men answer these questions on the surface level, but a wiser, more grounded man hears the meaning behind the words, because when she asks, she is not collecting data, she is checking alignment. She is testing your awareness. She is sensing whether you are the kind of man who notices what is happening beneath the surface. When a woman is drawn to you, she does not need you to impress her with money, strength, or stories. She needs to feel that you are present, conscious, and emotionally calm. These two questions matter because they are not random curiosity, they are invitations. The first question she asks a man she desires is designed to reveal one thing: your availability, not your schedule, but your heart. She wants to feel whether your life has emotional space for her. This is not a practical question, it is a psychological one. It is her way of asking, are you open or closed? Can you connect? Or are you hiding inside your routines? Can I move closer without feeling pushed away? Women do not like wasting emotional energy, so they test for openness before showing deeper interest. This first question is her version of a man leaning slightly closer to see if the woman leans in or pulls back. But most men miss this because they assume she is just making conversation. The second question she asks when she wants intimacy is about your direction. Not your job title or career achievements, but your inner direction. She wants to know if your life has purpose, movement, and masculine steadiness. Women do not open themselves to men who drift. They open to men who are anchored, men who know who they are and where they stand. This question tells her, is this man emotionally alive? Does he carry stability? Can I feel safe in his presence? Does he have boundaries, or is he floating through life? The second question is not about details, it is about your core. When she asks it, she is already imagining what being close to you would feel like. A woman may feel physical attraction to a man, but she only moves toward him when she desires his presence. And this question becomes her doorway into sensing the man you truly are. These questions matter deeply for men over 50. By this stage of life, many women assume you have already lived most of your emotional stories. So they hesitate to enter your world unless they feel certain they will not become an afterthought. These two questions, soft, simple, and almost invisible, are her way of checking whether there is space for her and whether the man she is drawn to is living with purpose or simply passing time. You can ignore compliments. You can miss body language. But if you miss these two questions, you miss the moment a woman is quietly opening a door. And once that door closes, most women do not open it again. When a woman wants intimacy with an older man, not just friendly talk, but real emotional and physical closeness, she tests that connection with two specific questions. These questions appear across cultures, ages, and backgrounds because they come straight from feminine psychology. Here they are. The first question: do you spend a lot of time alone? It sounds innocent, but it is not. It is her way of asking, is there room, is there space for me in your world? Women phrase it in different ways. Do you usually go out by yourself? Do you keep to yourself a lot? You seem like a man who enjoys solitude. Is that true? Are you seeing anyone, or are you just doing your own thing lately? This question is never about loneliness. It is about access. A woman asks it only after she has already imagined herself somewhere inside your life. She wants to know if you are welcoming or emotionally closed. If she felt nothing for you, she would not care how you spend your time. When a woman feels drawn to the calm strength many mature men carry, she wants to know if she can enter your world without forcing herself into it. Most men answer this question very literally. Yes, I am alone a lot. No, not really. It depends. But a grounded man hears the meaning. She is testing your openness. She is checking your availability. She is sensing whether closeness with you is possible. The best response is calm, balanced, and open without any hint of neediness. Something like, I enjoy my space, but I am always open to good company, or I value my routines, but I am open to someone who adds something meaningful. This response does two things. It shows emotional openness without desperation, and it gently signals that she could be someone you allow into your life. This tone is exactly what women respond to: open but not empty, warm but not needy strong without being cold. When you answer this way, she feels emotional safety, possibility, and warmth. And that naturally leads her to the second question, the one that reveals her deeper interest. The second question is, what are you looking for these days? This question is never casual, it is not small talk. If she felt nothing, she would never risk asking something so personal. Women save this question for men they see as meaningful possibilities in their lives. She may ask it in different forms. What do you want in your life right now? What direction are you moving in? What are you focusing on these days? What do you want at this stage of life? What are you hoping to find? Women ask this second question to understand your inner direction. For a woman to open emotionally or physically, she needs to feel that a man is grounded and intentional. She is listening not just to your words, but to your energy. If you answer with confusion, bitterness, or resentment, she feels it immediately. If you answer with clarity, calmness, and purpose, she relaxes and opens more. This is not about having everything figured out. It is about knowing yourself and standing comfortably in who you are. A strong answer might sound like, I am focused on building a peaceful, meaningful life, and I am open to sharing it with the right person, or I am enjoying where I am and staying open to something genuine. When you answer this way, she feels that you are emotionally alive, present, and steady. She feels that you are not chasing, but also not closed. And that balance is deeply attractive, especially to women who value maturity. At that moment, she is no longer just talking to you, she is feeling you. And once a woman feels safe, seen, and emotionally aligned, she naturally moves closer without needing words. Especially a mature man, she needs to feel something truly important inside him. She needs to sense that he knows who he is at his core. He knows what he wants from life and from himself. He is not wandering aimlessly through his days. He is not lost in old emotional stories that keep repeating in his mind. He is not just filling empty hours or distracting himself from loneliness. He moves with clear intention and quiet confidence. This kind of question helps her understand something deeper. Is this man's life moving in a direction where I could walk beside him with a sense of power, safety, and emotional leadership? Does he have emotional purpose in how he lives, physical purpose in how he carries himself, and relational purpose in how he connects with others? Is he the type of man I could trust with my feelings, my fears, and my vulnerability? Men who answer too literally often do not realize they are breaking the emotional moment without knowing it. When a man says things like, I am just looking for peace, or I am taking each day as it comes, or I am not sure right now, she hears a very different message beneath the words. What she hears is drifting. She hears a lack of direction. And women do not emotionally invest themselves in men who drift, no matter their age or experience. If you want to answer with masculine clarity, you do not need to give a long explanation or tell your entire life story. You do not need to impress her with details. You only need to show direction. You can say something simple and grounded, like, I am building a simpler and stronger chapter with the right people in my life, or I am looking for a connection that feels natural and not forced, or I am focused on living with intention through meaningful experiences and real moments. These types of answers do three important things for her. They show that you are moving forward and not stuck. They show emotional clarity, that you know what you want and where you are headed. And they quietly open a space where she can imagine herself fitting into your life direction. This is very powerful for a woman. It gives her a signal she hopes to feel. It gives her proof that you are emotionally awake and present. Because here is something most men over 50 never fully understand. Women want a man who is alive on the inside, not just physically present, not just available, but emotionally aware and engaged. These two questions are deeply connected to female desire. And here is why women do not test men randomly or without reason. They test based on emotional readiness. When she asks, "Do you spend a lot of time alone?" she is measuring your openness. She is sensing whether you have emotional space for connection. When she asks, "What are you looking for these days?" she is measuring your direction and inner purpose. The logic behind this is simple. A man who is emotionally open and moving with purpose creates emotional pull. He becomes someone worth leaning into. Women do not need perfection. They need clarity. Clarity creates safety, and safety awakens desire. This is why these two questions appear again and again in conversations. Even if the woman does not consciously understand why she is asking them, her intuition is guiding her. Now imagine this in a real-life moment. You are talking with a woman, maybe in a cafe, a bookstore, at a friend's home, or even online. The conversation feels easy and natural. There is comfort and a soft emotional tension in the air. She laughs a little more than usual. She touches her hair without thinking. She looks at you with warmth and curiosity. Then suddenly she asks, "So do you spend a lot of time alone?" This is her first emotional step toward you. It is her gently opening the door. If you respond with presence, calmness, and confidence, she feels encouraged. If you answer with confusion, defensiveness, or emotional distance, the energy drops immediately. Later, maybe minutes later or even days later, she asks, "What are you looking for these days?" Or "What are you looking for at this stage of your life?" This is her second step. This is her deciding whether she should go deeper or pull back. If you answer with clarity and intention, she feels possibility. If you answer with uncertainty or hesitation, she retreats emotionally. Men often think these moments are casual or random, but they are not. They are emotional checkpoints, and women almost never ask these questions to a man they feel nothing for. Here is something you must never forget. A woman who wants intimacy will not say it directly. She will not announce her desire. She will not push herself onto you. Instead, she will ask questions. Are you emotionally open? Do you spend a lot of time alone? Are you alive inside? What are you looking for these days? These questions are not really about your plans or your schedule. They are about your energy, your awareness, and your presence. When you recognize them and respond with intention, you step fully into the moment. When you fail to notice them, the moment quietly fades away. Women rarely offer the same emotional invitation twice. When they open a door, it is usually only once. If you remember just one thing, remember this. A woman does not test your words alone. She tests your presence and awareness. If you learn to recognize the questions she uses to signal attraction, you will no longer wonder whether a woman is interested in you. Before you go, help this message reach more men. Comment the phrase, "I see the signs below," to show you understood and are ready to use this awareness. Your engagement helps this message grow. Women communicate attraction in subtle, emotional ways that are often invisible to men who expect direct signals. This becomes even more important for mature men because women see older men differently than younger ones. They expect more depth, more emotional presence, and more clarity. A younger man can be uncertain, inconsistent, or confused and still be seen as learning. But a man over 50 is judged by a different standard. Women assume he has lived enough life to know who he is and what he wants. That is why their interest shows up through emotional signals rather than obvious gestures. When a woman asks questions that touch your openness or your direction, she is not just gathering information, she is feeling your emotional landscape. She wants to know if approaching you will feel safe, meaningful, and emotionally rewarding. Christmas is not about how much you give or how much money you spend. It is about how deeply you see her, how fully you engage with her emotions, and how intentionally you make her feel cherished. Christmas is not only about gifts, lights, or traditions, it is about presence, connection, and the quiet ways we make someone feel seen, valued, and loved. For a woman, this season can stir emotions more deeply than almost any other time of year. Memories, hopes, expectations, and desires come together, creating an emotional space that feels both beautiful and vulnerable. If you truly want to touch her heart this Christmas, it is not about expensive gifts or dramatic gestures. It is about emotional awareness and simple intention. It is about three core actions that communicate care and understanding. The first is listening deeply, not just hearing her words, but feeling the emotions beneath them. Christmas often brings reflection on the past year, on dreams, losses, lessons, and quiet hopes. When you listen without judgment, without interruption, and without distraction, you create a safe, emotional space. When you notice her tone, her pauses, and what she does not say, you show real presence. Deep listening is not passive, it is active attention. It shows that her inner world matters to you. Women notice this because it reflects emotional investment. This kind of attention feels grounding, comforting, and memorable because it makes her feel fully seen. The second action is creating a moment of warmth and intimacy. This does not always mean romance in the traditional sense. It means creating an experience where she feels safe, appreciated, and emotionally present with you. It could be a quiet walk under holiday lights, a sincere conversation in a calm space, or a small shared ritual that carries meaning. What matters is the feeling, not the size of the gesture. The final and most important element is intentionality. Doing something with thought, care, and emotional effort. Women are drawn to moments where effort feels genuine, where the experience is personal, and where the goal is connection, not performance. These moments stay in her memory far longer than any material gift. The third action is acknowledging her as an individual. Every woman wants to feel recognized for who she truly is, not just as a partner or companion, but as a unique and complex person. During Christmas, take time to reflect on her qualities, her strengths, her quirks, and the way she impacts your life.